But the Detroit Lions obviously adding a veteran quarterback in Kyle Allen. The question is Hendon Hooker linked to trade talks? Now, what this may or may not say about the Lions' third-round pick in 2023, is Hendon Hooker really being conversated about with other teams? Well, we haven't heard anything just yet, but there's a lot of speculation around the NFL right now that maybe, just possibly, Hendon Hooker could be a draft day trade. Now, the Detroit Lions have made what I consider to be a head-scratching move here in free agency, but maybe not as much, and I'll explain why. So, obviously, yesterday, March 13th, the Lions signed Kyle Allen, quarterback, veteran quarterback at that, to what I consider a depth and experience position with the Detroit Lions. This decision not only impacts the dynamics of the quarterback room, but it also raises some questions about the development of existing players on the roster, namely Hendon Hooker. So a couple of notable data points here about Kyle Allen's career: 442 completions on 705 attempts, 4,753 yards, 26 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. The touchdown to interception ratio, not great. His completion percentage, average. Passer rating, 82.3 across his career, below average. His experience comparison, Allen has 19 starts compared to Jake Fromm's 2 starts, and Hendon Hooker has a goose egg. So this was something I found interesting. So last season in training camp, Allen beat out Justin Fields in training camp. Now, there was an article that I came across. I can't remember who exactly it was, but I took this excerpt from it, and it says, on the positive side, Allen was generally accurate and had the calm approach of a veteran. He got the ball out on time. He did well to beat the blitz and got the offense aligned without many miscues or a comedy of errors. Through 4 practices, he completed more than 2/3 of his passes. He threw 4 touchdowns to 0 interceptions, and bested Justin Fields in yards per attempt and yards per carry. Like Fields, Allen benefited from extra reps due to Wilson's injury, averaging 12 per day throughout the first 10 practices. He's even a little athletic, able to roll out and keep the play going. Allen even juked linebacker Whey Washington in a one-on-one drill, though I'm sure that Washington was careful not to get too physical. So the link to the article is Steelers Depot by Alex Kozora. Now, here's what I think about the signing of Kyle Allen. With the Lions agreeing to terms with Kyle Allen, obviously as a veteran quarterback who previously played with multiple franchises, including the Panthers, the Commanders, and most recently the Steelers. We don't know what the specific terms are. At least I didn't see them just yet. But I feel like, this is an opportunity for the Lions to do a few things here. Obviously, Jared's the starting quarterback. I think that the Lions have previously relied on, their third-round pick in Hendon Hooker and Jake Fromm as backups last season. And, Teddy Bridgewater obviously wasn't around. He was coaching football. But Allen's addition introduces not only a veteran presence that could enhance the competition in the room for the backup position, but I think that it also provides that mentorship for the younger quarterbacks. Look, Jared Goff has a lot on his plate, right? He's going to continue to do what he does each and every day. He will continue to mentor, as much as he can, with Hendon Hooker and Jake Fromm. But let's just be real for a moment. Your starting quarterback doesn't have all the time in the world, but a guy like Allen, who has a little bit more time, who is standing off on the sidelines with these guys, is able to feed these guys a little bit more information. I'm kind of looking at this like, okay, we don't have Teddy. Now you insert Allen to kind of take that mentorship role over for these guys. So I'm not really considering the fact that there's a big rub here for Hendon Hooker. This could mean that we just have 4 quarterbacks in camp, which is great to keep guys' arms fresh. It will also give, Allen an opportunity to mentor these guys a little bit more. And then you might see one of the guys drop off as cut day comes around, where the Lions will probably keep 3. They'll probably keep 2 initially, but keep 3 and, go throughout the season, hopefully with 4 and have 2 on the practice squad. The development of Hendon Hooker has been called into question. Look, he missed most of his rookie season due to injury. He struggled during the 2024 training camp. The presence of Allen could either aid Hooker's development or challenge his position on the depth chart. The Lions have historically valued, experienced quarterbacks on the roster, namely Teddy Bridgewater, which could influence the progression of Hendon Hooker here in 2025. Will the Lions' backup quarterback be traded? I'm not so sure here. Many fans have already been spreading the rumors that Hendon Hooker will be traded. This has been flying now for a couple of months. This has been a common rumor since the offseason really began, with the recent quarterback trades involving Kyle Pickett, who was traded for a 5th-round pick, and Geno Smith, who was traded for a 3rd-round pick. One cannot seriously consider that Hendon Hooker's value would be better than the 2 quarterbacks I just mentioned. I believe the value aligns with a future 7th-round pick. At this point, I think that Hendon Hooker doesn't have, we know he doesn't have the experience to speak of as far as in-game management situations. Yeah, he has some preseason action, very limited at that. Maybe a quarterback-needy team is willing to overpay and compensate a 4th or a 5th-round pick, but I think that would be highly overvalued. Just being realistic, just trying to stick to the truth here. I'm not saying that Hooker doesn't have potential. I'm not saying that he can't be a good quarterback. I'm simply stating that he doesn't have the experience right now to match a higher value than, in my opinion, a future 7th-round pick. Is this a strategic move? Possibly. The Lions' decision to bring in a seasoned quarterback aligns with their strategy every single season of fostering a competitive and nurturing environment. Allen's experience may provide insights and guidance to both Jared Goff and the younger quarterbacks, enhancing the overall performance of the team. Now, the Lions have previously benefited from having experienced players like David Blau or Teddy Bridgewater in the room helping these guys out. Here's my final take on the situation. I think that the Lions have a history of valuing experienced players in the quarterback room. Without a doubt, we've seen it year after year. Without the leadership and presence of Teddy Bridgewater, I think that this move suggests a strategic decision by the Lions to bolster the quarterback depth and foster that competitive atmosphere. I think that this also can particularly sharpen the development of the younger quarterbacks in Hendon Hooker and Jake Fromm. With Goff, obviously, he's firmly planted as the starter here. This is not anything against Jared Goff. Like there's nothing, there's no competition with Allen and Jared Goff. So if anyone's saying that, in one ear, out the other, right? The addition of Allen may not only enhance the quality of practice, which it should, but also provide a safety net in case Jared Goff does, suffer some challenges. And I hate to even use the I word here, so I won't. Lastly, I think that Allen brings offensive scheme versatility with him to the Lions. I think it's another reason you bring guys like this in. It allows for more brainstorming, especially with this new offensive plan that is now headed up by offensive coordinator John Morton. I think that Allen will provide valuable feedback and vision on the field for Morton, especially during practice. He's able to see things differently than what Morton is able to see, just like Hooker or Fromm or Jared. And when they're able to brainstorm, in their meeting sessions, I think that veteran experience is invaluable to conceptual planning. So that's it for me on Kyle Allen. I don't think that this move is anything more than depth, security, and mentorship at this point.